This is a review show. Monkey sounds. Welcome to tonight's review episode of AEW Collision. It's January 17th, 2026. We got off to a great start because we got the in-ring return of Andrade El Idolo, Andrew the Idol, as I like to call him. He was taking on Angelico, and that was supposed to be a really good match. And it wasn't terrible, but I feel like Angelico at this point is just kind of ringing it in for the paycheck. If you watch Lucha Underground, you've seen that dude do a lot of crazy stuff. If you ever watched AEW Dark, you saw that dude do a lot of crazy stuff. They just let Andrade feel super powerful, which, like, fine. He is. He's a big, beefy dude, and he can get a lot of stuff handled in the ring. So, no shade to that. Totally here for it. We'll just rock and roll with it. And Andrade got the win, obviously. So, once again, 2026, you're the heel. Let's get this done. Let's do it. Let's continue forward with that. I want heels to have all the gold. So I'm not super happy about the ending of tonight's show, but it's fine. We'll figure it out as we move forward, especially because of the news that came after that match and everything. So right after that match, we got a quick promo from the Rascals. I have heard that we've got all 4 of them. We only got to see 3, and they were hotboxing the hell out of their changing room. So that was on par, realistically, with those guys. Silly little stoner boys doing their stoner boy flippy tricks. There were no flippy tricks. It was a complete and total promo. But they're excited to be here. I'm excited that they're here. A lot of other people are excited that they're here. Hopefully, we get some good stuff from them in the coming weeks. And we're stacking the card. Oh, there's so much good stuff. They could take the tag titles, the trios titles. They could take whatever they want. Let them have it. It'll be a fun mid-card show for everybody to see, and they are just high-flying, goofy wrestling for life. So, moving forward from there. We came out with Kingston and Ortiz versus the Grizzled Young Veterans next, and it was as hard-hitting as we expected it to be. Kingston and Gibson were very, like, ground and pound and heavy hits. Ortiz and Drake were very high-fly, flippy trick type of deal, making sure that, like, ground and air were both covered. So, it was a very good match from front to back. Ortiz and Kingston did end up getting the win. Kingston pulled one shoulder of his singlet down at one point and just kind of left it there, Andre the Giant style, and I don't know what that was all about, but it only lasted like the last 90 seconds of the match. So he did the thing, and they won the match. So I'm glad that Ortiz is back. He had like a 700-day absence from his because of his injury. So glad he's back. Glad he's got something going on. Glad he's with Kingston. The two of them are going to run roughshod for a while, and I am curious to see where it goes. Because with Kingston, you never know. We moved directly into a post-Dynamite promo from the Babes of Wrathlander, where they were just kind of at a moment of like, okay, yeah, you guys won, congratulations, do it again, like, bring it on, let's escalate this. And at one point, Willow and Harley were chirping at each other, and Stat was in the middle, and she put her fingers on both of their faces to like and she stood there with her fingers on their lips for like a solid 45 seconds. And after about 20 seconds, Harley just started to be like just licking Statlander's finger, and that was very strange, and Statlander didn't pull away. So I don't know if that was something they planned or if Statlander was just rolling with it. But that's pretty stable Harley behavior. I don't know what more I can say about that. It was odd. It was entertaining. It was good. It was a good promo. Good promo. FTR came out to the entrance ramp after that and did a promo with Shibani, and it was long-winded. It was very long-winded. I can't tell if they went over their time or if they were told, hey, you guys need to fill like another 2 minutes of time. It was very long and odd. But Stokely was still in his gold wheelchair, so that was fun. I like Big Stoke being in that massive gold wheelchair. It's very funny to me. It's got tassels on the armrests and everything. Like it's a fantastic little medical device for Stokely to be running around in. So, like it was a fine promo. It was fine. They were calling out Davis and Doyle for their win last week, basically saying like, oh, you guys have had one match and now you think you're king shits and you're going to come after us, and that's not how it works. We're going to defeat the hell out of you. And that, I mean, they could have just said that, taken 45 seconds to say that. But no, it was like a 5-minute promo at the top of the entrance ramp. So I don't know who decided that was going to be the best use of 5 minutes, but you know, cool, man. Go FTR, I guess. I don't know. Immediately following that, we had Marina Shafir taking on the young woman from Skyflight, Zeta Steele. It was a decent debut for Steele. She seems to know what she's doing. She's got a lot of things down. She doesn't look new by any means. There's a few things that she could work on. I'd have to go back. I didn't write notes on it. It was such a quick match. It wasn't a squash match, but there was a commercial break, like 2 minutes in, and then after the commercial break, it lasted like another 2 minutes. So it was like probably a 7-8 minute match, but it was very heavy in Shafir's Marina Shafir's camp. She got the win. It, like I said, it didn't feel like a squash match because Steele got some offense in, and there was a little bit of a back and forth for a minute. But Shafir did end up with the win. It was a good initial showing for Steele. We'll probably start seeing a lot more of her as time rolls on, which, cool. Like, she seems to be able to handle it. So go Skyflight. The only way that I can describe what happened next was a complete breakdown. Because during the Shafir fight, Moxley was on commentary, and then the next match was part of the Don Callis family coming out to have a match, and Don Callis came out, and he hopped on commentary, and the two of them started chirping off at each other a little bit, and then John went to the ring after Fletcher and El Clone and Josh Alexander got into the ring. And then Lance Archer came out and started beating up Mox. And it turned into this whole thing. And then the Death Riders came running out and they were helping. And it was Don Callis family versus the Death Riders. And then Skyflight came running out. And it just broke down. And they went to a commercial break. And they were like, oh, hopefully we'll figure this out by the time we get back. And they did, obviously. They came back from commercial break. And so it ended up being the Don Callis family versus Skyflight. The Death Riders were marching off when the cameras came back on. And it was a pretty good match. Skyflight has their shit together when it comes to... I mean, you know, it's the Martin Brothers and Scorpio Sky. So, like, the Martin Brothers have their stuff handled. Scorpio Sky coming in as the addition, he has a lot of the same kind of tactics as them, or he has in the past. So it's a really good fit, and it worked really well. There was lots of high flying. There was lots of ground and pound type stuff. Josh Alexander was taking it and giving it. El Clone, again, he does... They called it the wheelbarrow kick. I don't like that. That sounds really stupid. So I'm going to keep calling it his kip kick, because he does a kip up, keeps the arch, and then does a Pele kick. That's awesome. and I love it. It's one of the most ridiculous moves in professional wrestling today, and he does it very well. I hope he can continue to do it for a long time because it is so entertaining to watch. So go El Clone, big fan, love your stuff. Yeah, but it was just a lot of back and forth. There was high flying. Darius Martin's looking a little thick, which is interesting. He looks like he's trying to bulk up, and he's just about to start the cut. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. See if he does cut and get whatever shape he's going for. It's just a little bit of a dad bod at the moment, but that's fine. It's fine, man. Go for it. Like, you and your brother have had a lot of medical issues. Handle your business. You still looked great in the ring. So if you have the opportunity to go back and watch that match, I highly suggest it. It was fucking supreme. And of course, the Don Callis family ended up taking the win on that. No big surprise there. So, yeah, we just move forward with 2026 Year of the Heel. I'm for it. I want it. I want to see more of it. We need to start moving some gold around a little bit. Not MJF's gold. Don't touch his gold. That has to stay. But we've got some good stuff coming up on the books over the next month or so. Timing. Roderick Strong was in the back. He just defeated Hechicero in Mexico for a shot at Jon Moxley's title, which I think will be a good match. They're both really just strong, punchy boys. So that'll be fun. So he was doing a promo. Orange was kind of there, being like, oh, you're part of the conglomeration. And Strong is like, no, the hell I'm not. And he tried to walk away. And Briscoe came in and grabbed him and pulled him back in front of the camera. And Briscoe cut a promo. And we've got some conglomeration shenanigans going on over the next couple of weeks. So that'll be fun. It's conglomeration stuff. Briscoe is always a weirdo when he gets a mic in front of him, but he makes it work at the end of the day. I don't know. He just has, I would say, a way with words, but that's not quite the correct term to describe Mark Briscoe. So we got a couple good matches coming up over the next few weeks. Let's not spoil it with weird English. Penelope Ford apparently did not have a career-threatening injury, although everybody thought she did. She's been out for almost 90 days with an elbow injury, but she made her in-ring return with Megan Bayne, and they were taking on Viva Van and Danielle Camella. There we go. And it was all Megan Bayne. It was all Megan Bayne until the very last second when Penelope Ford was like, oh, tag me and I want to be part of this. And she got the tag and she came in and I think she did one finisher and pinned, I believe it was Viva Van. And that's just what happened. Marina Shafir did come out at one point and show support for Megan Bayne because they did have that little tag team there for a second when we all thought that Penelope Ford was done and totally on the shelf. So that was a whole thing. And then of course Toni Storm and Mina and Luther came out and Tony cut a promo and they had to bleep part of it and they had to pan away for part of it. And it was a Tony promo, so go find that if you've got a few seconds. Mina said some stuff too, basically we're coming after you guys because we don't forget how, or we haven't forgotten how you beat us up a while ago. So get ready for the Timeless Love Bombs. And that was, and then they danced on the stage while Marina and Megan and Penelope all just kind of stood in the ring what the hell is happening? What are these dumb bitches doing? It was fine. It was a Tony promo. After a commercial break, we came back to Swerve, doing a promo backstage. Kevin Knight showed up and was like, you and other people keep saying that, like, I'm the future, but I'm the here and now. Like, I've defeated this guy and this guy and this guy, and I know that I've got it in me. So then Swerve was like, all right, prove it next week, bitch. And so now we've got a match between Swerve and Kevin Knight next week. That'll be interesting, especially because of how this show ended. So, second to last match of the night, we saw Anthony Bowens versus Jack Perry, or as my lovely significant other likes to call him, the cute one, for a shot at Ricochet's national title. Ricochet was at commentary, and he was talking shit the whole time. Both Jack and Bowens, when they came out, were talking shit at him as well, so it was just this whole thing. Lots of fun back and forth. We did end up getting Jack Perry as the victor of that match, so he is going to go on to face Ricochet here in the next couple weeks for a shot at the national title. I don't know if they're going to take it off Ricochet's hands this fast, although they don't do anything with it, so if it does trade hands to Jack, maybe it'll give it a little bit more life, because they're not putting Ricochet in very many matches, it seems, whereas we see Jack like every week. Like, we see Ricochet, but Ricochet's not always wrestling, whereas Jack seems to be in something like at least every other week. So if they do give it to Jack, I don't think it would be a bad idea. If they leave it on Ricochet, we need to do more with it. There's just, if you're gonna have it, do something with it. Like, keep it as a Saturday night title, I don't care, just do something with it. More Ricochet. I just want more Ricochet. I like Ricochet. That's all I'm saying. So Jack Perry versus Ricochet coming up soon. That'll be a good one. Two mildly high flyers, also two pretty good grapplers. I mean, Ricochet definitely takes the sky more, whereas Jack has more of the ground and pound. But they do kind of trade off when the moment asks for it. So it'll be a really good match. I'm excited to watch it. So here we go. Then we got to the main event of the night, and I have to put my hood on for this because it was a lot. It was a lot. It was Jet Speed and Hangman Page versus the Ops for the Trios titles. And oh boy, did it end very weird. And we'll talk about the ending here in a second. Let me first start with this. So Paige and Joe were going to start it off, and then Joe tagged out to Shibata. Paige turned around and was like, do you guys want to come after Shibata? To which Speedball was like, yes, please. So they got the tag. While they were figuring all that out, the crowd was chanting cowboy shit. As soon as Paige tagged Mike Bailey in, the crowd instantly changed to Speedball shit, and that was fascinating. Then there was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of quick tags. At one point, Hobbs and Knight were having a little skirmish, and Knight was just like doing his thing, and then Hobbs was like, nah, dog, and he grabbed him and he did a short arm lariat and just folded Knight in half. That man crumpled faster than a sugar cookie in the rain. I mean, he just went straight to the ground and was just in a heap. Like, he looked like my bedroom floor in high school. That's the only way I can describe it. I know that won't make sense to any of you, but that's just what it was. He was just an amalgamation of a human on the mat. It was an insane clothesline. Then there was a little bit more back and forth before Shibata suplexed Mike Bailey on the apron, rolled off the apron, and then gave him a second suplex on the floor. It was like when Andrade goes for his three amigos, but it wasn't a over the head like suplex. It was a belly to back like German suplex, non-released, and he hit it, and then Shibata rolled and brought Bailey with him, and then did it again on the floor. I don't even know how to describe how hard I winced when I watched that happen. It was a lot in the span of about 6 seconds. Wow. Shibata still got it, and I'm glad that he didn't pass with that headbutt several years ago. If you know, you know. More back and forth. Bailey got back into the ring and was doing a thing, and then Hobbs ended up on the apron. So Bailey, he was going to power slam Paige. Bailey came up behind him and took his legs out while he was on the apron. So then Paige flipped it around and landed on him on the apron. Bailey jumped out to the apron and did that backflip double knee attack and got Hobbs right in the face. He landed on the man's face. Just sploot right there. Ow. This was such a weirdly hard-hitting match. So that was the thing. So Hobbs rolled back into the ring. Bailey hobbled off on the outside. There was just another few seconds went by. Hobbs got up, and Knight went to do a crossbody, and Hobbs caught him and did a switch around, big man drop type of deal where he swung him up and he went boop boop and just finished it there. Then everybody got in the ring. There was a big skirmish, and Shibata got Paige in a chokehold. I believe it was Shibata and Paige for a chokehold. Joe had Bailey in a chokehold in the coquina clutch. So they were off to the side in the ring a little bit, and Hobbs went to powerbomb Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight popped up a little too high, ended up reversing it into a surprise roll-up, ding, and won the match. And that was that. It ended so fast, so unexpectedly, that even my HBO app was like, well, that's got to be the end, right? And it tried to turn on The Last of Us. So it ended so fast, I had to back out and restart the stream just in time to see Swerve come out and be like, hey, congratulations, you guys got the Trios titles. Cool. While you're playing around with those Trios titles, I'm going to keep going after the AEW title. So good on you, Hangman. Have fun with whatever you just did. So that was the show. That was the whole show. Started great, ended strangely, and then we do have to give a goodbye to Hobbs because he was let go this week, and I didn't look into why, but we're gonna miss him. He was definitely big man slapping man meat when it came to his in-ring stuff. It's probably why they dropped the Trios titles the way that they did, so abruptly at the very least. So we'll just have to keep an eye and see what he's going to do. But we've got the Rascals and Andrade. So, hopefully Hobbs figures it out wherever he ends up, and I'll keep my ear to the ground, and we'll just have to go from there. So, other than that, that's about it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, or whenever you're watching this, Monday if you're watching it. I hope you have a good week. Stay cool, stay frosty. Goofy Wrestling for life. Bye.